It is 7 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Before I ask for the adoption of the agenda, I will read a message on behalf of the council. This evening, members of council are wearing purple ribbons in support of Epilepsy Awareness Month. On Purple Day, March 26th, people are encouraged to wear the color purple to indicate their support for those with epilepsy and to increase public awareness of this disorder. Special thanks to the Epilepsy Association of the Maritimes for providing service, support, and programming for those who live with epilepsy and their families. So we'll go to number 2, adoption of the agenda. Motion moved by Deputy Warden LeBlanc, seconded by Councillor Hill. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Are there items that can put you in item 12.4? Are there other items that could put you in conflict? If not, we'll go to 4, presentations. There are no presentations tonight. 5, adoption of minutes. 5.1, February 17th, 2021, regular council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Moved by Councillor Hill, seconded by Deputy Warden. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 5.2, March 3rd, 2021, Council and Committee meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Moved by Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 6, business arising from previous council meetings. 6.1, outdoor artificial rink. Communauté francophone accueillante de Clare. Don't know if you want to talk about that. Yes, thank you. At the council and committee meeting on March 3rd, the staff talked about, from the Communauté francophone accueillante de Clare, made a presentation to council to talk about different initiatives that have happened up to date with that project. They also spoke about a few initiatives that they are proposing. One of them in particular is the purchase and installation of an artificial rink for the Clare community. It was a project idea that was discussed with the Immigration and Refugee Canada in the program, within the program, and it was program that that was deemed very useful, that could help with the inclusion of the people in the community and with the development of of different programs for the new people that arrive in the community. So the municipality in the recreation department saw that there was potential in that as well for the program, for different programs, to develop new programs for the Clare residents, and that would be it could be throughout the whole year because it's an artificial rink, so it could be used throughout the year. So the council, at the last meeting, the council seemed to support the idea unanimously. However, there was a discussion on the size, the preferred size of the rink and the associated costs with the different options. So after the meeting, Amy and the other members of the Communauté francophone accueillante team did some research to come up with different prices for different sizes for the skating rink, and they provided information for 3 dimensions: 40 by 60, 40 by 80, and 50 by 90 feet. The price difference between 40 and 80 and 50 and 90 is quite large. The recommendation from the staff was to explore the the scenario of 40 by 80. It was deemed large enough that would allow us to have many activities on that ice. So that being said, we started the discussions with the IRCC to come up with an exact amount of their contribution. So earlier last week, I sent two scenarios based on our discussions, but we did not have the exact amount yet. But we had to, one was of 76,000 from IRCC and the other one from 93,000 from IRCC. The discussions continued and we finally received a decision. They confirmed, IRCC confirmed that their amount, including the TVH, would be for the arena of 40 by 80, and that would be 50%, exactly half of the cost for the construction of the arena. So we're talking about the panels, the markings, the boards, the netting, the shipping, the concrete pad for the installation, and the non-rebated HST. So that would be 147,356. So IRC would pay half of those costs. So the recommendation from staff is to go forward with that project, and we recommend that council do a contribution of 70,000, a little bit over, plus applicable HST towards the project. And this is just a reminder that this money has to be spent before the fiscal year, so it's something that's time sensitive if we want to go forward with it and use the IRCC funds to go ahead with it. So we had the presentation at the council and committee meeting, and there was a lot of interest. So the question was what size, and the question was where in the size. So I don't know what is the desire of council. Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. The other night at the meeting when we spoke about it, I think that we found that 40 by 60 was a bit small. We wanted to go harder. I think 40 by 80, we're in the middle, and if we can't have the bigger one, I think this is a good option to go with. I think with this dimension, we'll be good. Someone else? Councillor Camille? I agree with Councillor Caldevo for the size. I think it's maybe the size of the room is 80 by 50. It's a good size. We don't know how much it's going to be used, but if it's too big, it'll look, maybe it won't look too used if there's 10, 15 people, but I think 40 by 80 with our population, and it should satisfy the need. That's my opinion. Is there somebody else before I go to Councillor DeVoe? No? Thank you, Mr. Warden. Just to be clear, that Mr. Sear just mentioned that the amounts that needs to be spent before the end of the month, is it just the amount? Does it include our amounts as well? Yes. Yeah, so essentially if you want to go ahead with it, we need to pass a motion tonight. I think it's a good project. When you think of an infrastructure for 50 cents on the dollar, it's always interesting to begin with. So if you agree to go forward with it. I know last meeting there was a lot of interest, so if you are interested, we would need a motion to go forward with it. I don't know if someone is interested in doing it, and then we'll go to the debate and the vote. Councillor DeVoe?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare contribute an amount equal to 50% of the total cost for the proposed purchase and installation of an outdoor artificial rink as detailed below, up to a maximum amount of $70,647 plus HST, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's capital reserve. And that includes what was mentioned already, the rink panels, the boards, the markings, the nettings, and the shipping cost installed by Smart Rink Inc. And the total amount will be $102,444 plus HST. And also the amount by Spec Resources for the slab, the pad, the concrete pad, of $38,850 plus HST. A little correction is 38,000, just to make sure that it is noted. There is a motion on the table. Anybody wish to second the motion? Seconded by the Deputy Warden. Any discussion on the motion? All those ready for the vote? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. We will go on to 6.2, the contract extension with Iris Communications. In last November, the municipality, in partnership with Diesel, 10 other municipalities in southwestern Nova Scotia, in the effort to try to answer, in part, at least, to the fisheries crisis, with a focus on public security and the economic impact on the economy of Southwestern, the municipalities went together to try to avoid the crisis. The group decided to hire Iris Communications to help them at the communications level and the public communications. And they helped us with the press releases and letter writings and dealing with the media, etc. But it was a 3-month contract for $6,000 per month plus HST for a total of $18,000, spread out between the 11 municipalities, and the amount is based on the assessment value of each municipality. It is a formula that we use for different projects, with the rent, for example. So by using that formula, the contribution for the municipality of Clare is $2,665 or $885 plus HST per month, $923 altogether per month. So it is a promise of 3 months. The 3 months are now over. The group has met. I met with them. The consensus around the table was to prolong the contract with Iris. We worked a bit with the details of the contract, but the changes are minimum, and there were a few revisions and additions, but the monthly cost for the contract did not change. It's still $6,000 a month, divided in the same manner with the other municipalities with. So we have a contribution of $923 per month. That did not change. So I am bringing this tonight so that we can have your support and to participate with the other municipalities in that prolonged contract with IRIS. The other municipalities will do the same thing with their councils, and the wardens and mayors around the table decided to continue the contract. As you know, it was quiet at the beginning of the fisheries in November until January, but we don't know what will take place. There is a consensus around the table that we hope that it will not happen, but it could look like the same that happened last fall. So I think that there is an importance to keep the consultants. It's nice to see the 11 municipalities together, and by doing that, I think it will help. So I don't know if anybody wish to make the motion. Councillor LeBlanc. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare, as one of 11 municipal units in southwestern Nova Scotia, mitigating the impacts to the region of the ongoing lobster dispute, accept the proposal submitted by Irish Communications and Public Affairs to extend by 3 months its current service agreement for communications and public affairs, and at the amount of $18,000 plus HST, of which the municipality's share is $2,655 plus HST. Any seconder? Councillor, seconded by Councillor Hill. Any discussion? Ready for the vote? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary? Motion is carried. Next, we will go on to 7, the Warden's Activity Report. As I do usually, I go over it rather fast, but if you have any questions, let me know. On February 18th, I attended to a virtual meeting with the stakeholders on the recruiting of doctors in the municipality of Digby. Here in Clare, we are doing well, but there are difficulties, especially in the Digby area, and we are trying to work together to find solutions, and we are still seeking doctors for the area. On February 29th, I attended to a virtual meeting with the Acadian CDNE. On February 22nd, I attended to a virtual meeting with the NSSM with the Deputy Sean Fraser as part of a consultation with the federal counterparts, just to see what the Southwestern municipalities think in terms of municipal priorities, and everybody who spoke about housing, and that's what, and also the doubling of the Gas Tax Act. So these are the 2 items communicated to Sean Fraser, the minister, but the housing, everybody has the same story. It was interesting. On February 26th, I attended a meeting for the advisory committee for the elaboration of a strategy for housing for the municipality of Clare. And on March the 8th, I attended to a virtual meeting with Waste Check. We will have a report shortly. And March the 9th, I attended to a virtual meeting with the table with the seniors of Nova Scotia on the impacts. It was our first meeting. It's an Atlantic project. All the projects are going to a table about the financing that will come later, but each table must develop 4 projects that will be inclusive for the seniors, but it has to be for the province, not for a certain region. Because what we do here, we'll have to do it everywhere. It was a first meeting. It was interesting. So these are for the Francophone areas of the province. They asked me to sit on the table, and I accepted.
March 10th, I went to a meeting of the mayors and wardens to discuss of the lobster fishing crisis that we just mentioned earlier. Essentially, the discussion was iris communication, and the other big topic was the security, public security. There's a lot of anxiety of what will happen, and we want to make sure that the RCMP, especially, knows what's coming up and that they are well prepared for if there are problems in the future. March 12th, I attended a meeting of the advisory committee of the SHS, consultant for the developing a strategy. March 16th, I attended a meeting of the audit committee here at the municipality last night. So that's my report. I don't know if you have any questions. If not, we'll go to 8, official statements from members of council. Councillor Camo. Thank you. I would like to congratulate Nita Josehana, a youth from Sunnyvale Station, very talented. She went to Toronto to audition for a key role, and she was chosen as one of the major characters of the movie. The movie had received good critics. It's a movie that is strongly recommended. Amy Paradis, our communications agent, prepared a congratulations letter, and I will read it. Miss, on behalf of Council of the Municipality of the District of Clare, I congratulate you for your recent success as an actress in a big film. Your main role in the film is the most recent of your successes. To be as an actress needs many sacrifices and much discipline. That being said, it is very nice to see a young actress of your age with such an impressive role. We wish you lots of success in your future projects. So you all agree to send this letter? Are there other official presentations? Councillor Potier? At the meeting of February 27th, the CSAP gave a certificate to someone from the area who devoted his career to teaching. This person is Ken Godin, and he was given the prize from the CSAP. He was a teacher, principal, Director General of the Clare Argyle District School Board. He was at Affaires Acadiennes, and in 2000 he was a member of CSAP, and he was president for 17 years. This man devoted his life to the French language and culture. I think we should send him a letter on behalf of council. You all agree with that? Are there other presentations, official presentations? If not, we'll go to 9, correspondence. 9.1, Angélique Leblanc, Second Division Road, concession.
I would like to draw your attention to the state of the Second Division Road where the pavement ends in concession. The dirt road is in terrible condition. The road does get graded from time to time, but degrades to its previous state in a matter of days. In addition to being hazardous for vehicle traffic, it causes tremendous wear and tear on resident vehicles. There are numerous year-round residents along Victor Lake. Both CSAP and Tri-County school buses, as well as the snowplow, use Chemin Victor to turn around. Logging trucks also use the road, and traffic has become much heavier with the development around Billable Lake. I would like to request a long-term fix to the road and would welcome any solutions that would alleviate this issue. Merci. Angélique Leblanc, 145, Chemin Victor.
145 Victor Road, concession. Do you all agree? Seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Is there discussion on the motion?
To say I have a lot of calls from that road being in such terrible condition, and I contacted TIR, and I haven't heard anything back, so I think we should also go ahead with the letter, because the road is in really poor condition.
Yeah, it is, the pictures are really bad, to be honest. So, any other discussion? Councillor DeVoe?
Councillor DeVoe, thank you, Mr. Gordon. I think there are many roads that are like that, especially after the winter months. So I think when the public finds out that we send a letter, we receive more, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, because some roads are, it's incredible how bad it is, but it's nature, and it'll be them that'll have to decide how to fix them. Other discussion? Ready for the question? All in favor, indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Maybe add that maybe it's not quite in order, but I'll stretch the limit. I know that Councillor DeVille at the last meeting, he had mentioned that we should examine the requests that we received from TIR, not the recent ones, but the older ones, and maybe at the council committee to go through them. Those that have been submitted a while ago, that could have been addressed, and maybe send a letter to try to close that circle, because I think some of them have been sent several months ago, if not a year, and we haven't received anything yet. So I think you all agree to add that. Councillor Camus? I certainly agree. I wonder if the TIR staff, if they were invited to address council. They're supposed to come in September. They feel that it's the perfect time because their action plan ends, and then the new one, they start planning for the following year, so maybe we could have contributed to the plan. But that being said, we can't wait until September to see if they've addressed some of our concerns. So if you agree, we'll do that. Councillor DeVoe? Thank you. I know that in my end, I received a request for a guardrail on a road. We received a letter that we did not receive the exact date, but we received the month that they were going to install it. That was about a year and a half ago, and there's still no guardrails, so they started a while ago to call me to see, because I told them that maybe I jumped the gun a bit, but I had given them the date it was going to be May, and May is gone and almost come back a second time, and so I think we need a system to know so that I can answer the public's questions. Thank you. So we'll put that on the agenda for the committee and council meeting, and if you have items that you know that you brought forward, we can go through them to make sure we have everything. 9.2, Dr. Harold Cook and Paulette Sweeney Goodwin, Yarmouth Hospital Foundation.
when we are all concerned about the health and well-being of loved ones, we have some very good news to share with you. Your past generosity has helped enhance health care for the people of southwestern Nova Scotia, and now a major donation will help us collectively transform that care to a gold standard. A generous donor whose wish was to remain anonymous has entrusted us with this donation to improve the provision of health care in the area served by the Yarmouth Regional Hospital. Thanks to your past support, the Foundation has fulfilled all current commitments to the hospital, so we are using this major gift to create a new healthcare enhancement endowment. The extraordinary donation of $22 million has been invested with the guidance of expert financial advisors and the investment committee of our board. From the income generated each year, we will be able to spend as much as 5% of the total investment, approximately $1.1 million annually, to support the purchase of capital equipment, special projects, and programs carried out by the Yarmouth Regional Hospital. A portion of up to 15% of that investment income will also be committed to community health organizations outside the hospital to further enhance the health and wellness of the people of Yarmouth, Digby, and Shelburne counties now and for many years to come. Thank you for the successes you have helped us achieve so far. Together, we celebrate this gift that will help us collectively do more for the Yarmouth Regional Hospital and Western Nova Scotia's future generations. We value the generosity of all donors. Your continuing support combined with this health care enhancement endowment gives us an ongoing ability to protect what is most precious to all of us in times like these, our health. As you may be aware, a public announcement was made on Wednesday, March 10th, online, virtually, and through news media. However, we want to connect directly with you to share details. You can learn more by going to our website, www.yarmouthhospitalfoundation.ca, and our Facebook page. We are available to talk to you about this now and later as the impact of this unprecedented gift continues to unfold. Sincerely, Dr. Harold Cook, Chair, Yarmouth Hospital Foundation Board, Paulette Sweeney Goodwin, Yarmouth Hospital Foundation Managing Director.
It is certainly good news, and I am really happy to see what they do with the other community centers in the area, with the Health Foundation to acquire equipment. And I'm proud for the area and for them. A lot of us have been on that foundation. They worked really hard to gather funds, and that will certainly help. Are there any questions or comments? If not, we will go on to 10, the Chief Administrative Officer's report. Thank you, Mr. Warden. The first part of my report is an update of the internet. So if you will allow me, I will do it in English.
Doing residential service connections for internet services only. Television and phone services are being tweaked and should be available by the end of this month. In addition to their employees, Mainland has hired a local contractor to help complete these installs. So basically, on any given week, Mainland will have 1 to 3 two-person crews doing installs, and expects to see anywhere between 3 to 12 installs per day initially. This number will obviously increase. Most of Mainland's initial installs have focused on New Edinburgh thus far, with some being in Ohio. To date, 31 customers have been connected, and they expect to have a total of 50 by the end of the week. Feedback thus far received by the company, and I've received some here as well, has been extremely positive in terms of the increased speeds available. In the past, I've done a phase-by-phase update, and I'll just do the same. So if we start with phase 1, which is Route 1 from Comoville to St. Bernard, that section is complete with except for 2 splice locations which will be finished shortly. Phase 2, which is New Edinburgh and Bois-de-la-Rivière, that part is complete, and as I mentioned, they are doing installations at the moment. Phase 3 is Ohio to Hassett. That phase is also complete, and they are doing installations there as well. Phase 4, which is the side roads along Phase 1 from Comoville to St. Bernard, The strand and fiber construction there is complete, and they expect to begin installations along that route within a couple of weeks, once they're further along in New Edinburgh and along Highway 340. Phase 5, which is concession, Patrice Road and Littlebrook Station. Their strand and fiber construction are ongoing. They're still awaiting the Highway 101 crossing in Littlebrook Station to be completed, so that work is ongoing at present. Phase 6, which is concession, Saint-Joseph, and the PF Como Road. Strand and fiber construction are complete. A small amount of splicing remains, but nothing too significant. Customers still can't be hooked up until the highway crossing in Littlebrook Station is complete and the network is tied in. So a lot hinges on that highway crossing. Phase 7, which is the cultural hub in Comoville to Amiro Road, going past Sunnyvale Road and 2nd Division, and also Eustache Como Road. The make-ready and the trimming are complete. Strand construction is ongoing with fiber to follow shortly afterwards. Phase 8, which is Sunnyvale Road, and the C-Sony Road. The make-ready is complete, minus the Mitagen River crossing. The assessment piece for that crossing is still ongoing. Strand construction is ongoing as well, with fiber to follow. Phase 9, which is Mitagen River, D'Entremont Road, Placid Como Road. There, the trimming and make-ready work are complete. Strand construction is beginning and fiber to follow. Phase 10, which is the Mitagen Connector, Bonnie Road, Peter Dugo Road, and the John Thibodeau Road. Nova Scotia Power has completed their scope at the end of January. The make-ready and the trimming are ongoing. This includes 2 Highway 101 crossings, the one on the Mitagen Connector and the second one on the 2nd Division Road. The strand and fiber will follow shortly, following the completion of the make-readies. Phase 11, which is Sunnyvale Road to the Maxwellton Road along 2nd Division Road. Nova Scotia Power has completed their scope, or had completed their scope on the week of March 15th, so this week. The make-ready and the trimming will begin where possible during the spring weight restrictions, and then following that, strand and fiber will begin to be placed. Phase 12, which is the remainder of the D'Entremont Road up to the Salmon Lake area. Nova Scotia Power had completed their scoping in late February. The make-ready and trimming will begin shortly, where possible, again during spring weight restrictions, and also strand and fiber will follow shortly thereafter. Phase 13, which is Highway 1 and side roads from the Mitagen Connector to Mabulette. Bell is currently scoping the route at the moment. Once they've completed their work, that will be submitted to Nova Scotia Power, and we expect that to happen within the week. Phase 14, which is Highway 1 and side roads from Mabulette to Beaver River. The make-ready applications have been submitted to Bell and Nova Scotia Power, and that happened earlier this week. So we are waiting usually it's Bell who does the first scoping, followed by Nova Scotia Power. So we're waiting for Bell to review and to start their scope. And lastly, Phase 15, Salmon River Road and Hectanuga Road and side streets. The make-ready's applications are being prepared at the moment and will be submitted as soon as they're ready. So that is essentially a phase-by-phase of where the project sits as of this week. I spoke to Mainland yesterday. They are pleased with how things are progressing. The make-readies are coming along very well. I think they're pleased with how they are progressing. Obviously, the exciting news this week, which is different from my previous reports, is that we are now seeing actual residents and businesses connecting to the network. So that is the good news, and hopefully those numbers will continue to increase in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Alors, je vais continuer le...
I will continue with the rest of my report in French. The other project is the Veterans Center. I will put this aside because we will talk about it later on this evening under new business 12.2. for the welcoming communities, we already spoke of the arena, which is a good addition to that project, and also the other news that I can bring. Jean-Paul Calouette-Halley, a former student of University of Saint Anne, has been hired to manage the tourism office. He will start on March 22nd, next Monday. Up until recently, Mr. Calouette was working in Newfoundland in the immigration department, so he will be a good addition here, and he's there for 2 years.
With the support of the CSAP, the Communauté Francophone project will, there will be a day called Diversity Day in March 25th, and the two elementary schools in Clare, and that is to discuss the importance of inclusion and diversity with the youth of the area in our communities. In partnership with Université de Saint-Anne, we launched the Party de Cuisine kitchen party to encourage residents of Clare, either those that have lived here for a long time or that are new to the area, to share their favorite recipes to share with the entire community. So that is that also falls under the Communauté Francophone project. And another project that we're working on that is part of that same project is the Rendez-vous de la Baie in partnership with Inclusion Clare, the Arts Council, Clare Arts Council, and Université de Saint Anne. We are looking at developing a conceptual plan to work on the space at the Rendez-vous de la Baie. It's a work that we talked about a while ago, and it had kind of gone aside, but now we're just kind of trying to bring it back up to, so we're working with the, discussing with the partners that I mentioned earlier, just to see how the space can be worked. So we just, we launched a, so we're trying to see how we can work the space. The breakwater in Bilboscove, the project is now complete. The total cost for the work was $394,125 plus HST. From that amount, the insurance contributed $310,250,000. So we also submitted a reclamation to the province under their flood risk investment infrastructure program for an amount of $50,391. So that we were approved last fall for that amount. So that means that the municipality's total contribution towards that project is $50,391 also. So I'm happy to say that that project is now complete. The lighthouse has been put back in its original place. There is a new road to the lighthouse that was built, and that also is complete. We put about 1,500 tons of armor stone to complete the project. And soon you will see an invitational tender to complete the reparations on the lighthouse. They have been deemed minor, but they still need to be done, and that is something that will be covered by the insurance. The housing action plan, the warden touched upon it a little bit in his report. As you know, the draft of the plan, or an update of the plan, was presented to council on March 11th. The consultations with the key stakeholders in the community are being held as we speak. The initial plan will be completed on March 31st, 2021. But that being said, we managed to prolong the project to allow us to look at a few additional sites in the municipality. There was a little bit of money left in the budget to allow us to do that. So with the approval of ACOA, which is our partner, we will be able to go ahead with that. We are also looking at changing the statement of work to include not only the writing and development of the plan, but to really look at the implementation of a few of the key elements of the plan. And that also, as I said, it won't cost anymore because the financing is already approved. Asset management, not much to say there, nothing much new, FCM is currently processing the applications 325 to 375. We are 491, so we're slowly getting there. For the sidewalks in Mitagen, I spoke with the engineers earlier today. The designs are complete. They they think they'll be able to send us a copy of design on paper, a plan set, to us as well as to TRR by the end of this week or by early next week. So apparently the new sidewalks are in cement. The next step will be to look at the different options for cost estimates, including different materials. If instead of cement we want asphalt, evidently there will be a difference in cost. And also it would be looked for a cost estimate for the entire project. The tender and the spec package are essentially complete. The only thing that are left are to discuss with Council and TRR to determine the last adjustments, the last additions, what are the options we want to go with, but that shouldn't take a lot of time. Once the decision has been made, the tender package will be able to go ahead with it. The Clare Health Center, the generator has been ordered. Unfortunately, there will be some delays there, mostly because of COVID. We think that we'll only be able to receive the generator in May. That being said, all the wiring at the Clare Health Center up to the cabin that will hold the generator is complete. The core drilling and the foundation has been done, and the transfer switch has been installed in the electrical room. So the project is going well. We're just waiting for the generator. For information, for Council's information, the tender for garbage collection was launched. The deadline to apply under that tender is April 1st, 2021. And that's a contract, a 5-year contract that will begin on October 1st, 2021 until September 2026. So why we are putting it out this early is if some companies need to buy new equipment to be able to submit their tender. So it was just to give them the time to go ahead and make the research that they would need to do and submit prices. In terms of finances, on February 28, 2021, the municipality had $9,706,665 in revenue, $8,880,766 in expensive, for a surplus of $825,899. And at the same date, February 28, 2021, the municipality had a balance of $1,310,149,000 in its operational fund, $253,482 in its capital fund, and a total in reserve of $5,726,167. That last amount can be ventilated in the following ways. Operational reserve, $2,172,679. Capital project reserve, $2,477,112. Landfill closure reserve, $333,279. And finally, the gas tax reserve, $743,097. And just as a last point for information for the council is that for the operational budget and capital budget for the fiscal year 2021 is going very well. The staff and myself, we hope to send the budgets, to present the budgets at the April, to the council and committee meeting of April 7th for your consideration. So that's my report. Are there any questions? Councillor Camone and Councillor Hill? For high-speed internet, did mainland Telecom give a date to complete the project, or no? I haven't received a specific date. At first we were, now I'm talking really about the beginning of the project. They had given us 20 to 24 months. I think they still feel quite comfortable with that number, but I don't have a specific date to say that by that day the project will be done. There's a lot of variables. It's a quite complicated project, but what I can say up until now, they're happy with the way that things are going, especially with the make-readies.
I just want to add that there are a lot of factors that they do not control, but for them to put a date, they have Bell, Nova Scotia Power, and these things, so it is extremely difficult. So they want to get it done as soon as possible.
Well, and people are finally getting hooked up. I was just wondering if there was an update on the second part of the project from like Richfield to Hassett and the side roads?
So that would be the Bell project with that Bell is doing. Unfortunately, I haven't received one. I haven't spoken to the Wren in regards to that project in a while, but last time I spoke with them, they were waiting on an update also. So unfortunately, I haven't received anything, and as I know, as you well know, Councillor Hill, but just for those who may be watching at home, the Bell project is independent of the municipality's project here. So although we have a keen interest in seeing it succeed, we aren't directly involved in that project. So the information flow between ourselves and the proponent for that project has been a bit of a challenge so far.
Any more questions? The only thing I would have is an update on the project. If you can send it to the council members, it would be good information if we had that. Yes, I can do that. And later on, the report will be in the minutes for the public who are interested. It will be available. Any more questions? If not, we will go on to committee reports. 11.1 building permit, Councillor Hill.
In February of 2020, there was 12 permits issued for a value of construction of $573,000. And as of February 2021, there's 27 permits issued for a value of construction of $31,824,000. It's not a misprint. I thought it was when I first read it, but that's a good start.
Any questions? Yes, it starts the year on a good side. Waste check, Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. On March the 8th, I attended a meeting via Zoom for waste check. Also with the Deputy Warden LeBlanc was also there, and other members of the committee. So we spoke a bit about all kinds of things, but a few things I would like to note. We spoke a bit about, again, on the flyers that are being left sometimes in mailboxes, sometimes on the driveways and grounds of the people. We, for those who forgot, we had a motion a while back to determine how we will distribute the flyers, and it is still to the committee, up to the bylaw committee, and I think it's going well. But we also had a bit of information also that I think I mentioned when I made the motion that we could go with sort of boxes or something that they could put the flyers in, that the company could put them in, and that these boxes would be placed in community mailboxes. And by saying that, I don't remember exactly that's what they do themselves. The Flyers company have placed boxes in areas, and the people who want the flyers go get them, and those who don't want them don't go, of course, but there are no more flyers being thrown on people's properties, and according to the member who did the report, it works well. So anyway, I hope that before long we will have a reply for our committee and that we will go ahead with the flyers distribution, in my opinion. I don't want to see them thrown everywhere. The amount of illegal dumpings have increased. That means two things. Of course, the people are reporting it more to Waste Check, or, and I hope not, it would mean that there is more illegal dumping. So I hope that it is more the people reporting it than having more illegal dumping. So just to make a comment, the people who do illegal dumping, if they get caught, they will pay a fine. And for those who don't know, there is a truck going by every week who picks up the garbage in front of your house. It doesn't cost you anything. So there is no reason why you should go to areas that are not for illegal dumping. So it did increase. We ordered a shipment again from Green Organic Carts, and that will cost for this year $44,978 plus HST, which is a big amount of money that we spend on the green carts. The green carts that are deposited at the municipality, we pay for it. It is not given. So I just want to make the point that a person who has green carts, to try to take care of them so that the amount of money especially increases, because the green carts, the amount for the cart itself is going up, and it's costing more to the municipality. So the more that there are green carts that are damaged, the more the municipality, the more the bill will increase. So, for example, if they put the green cart by the road, try to bring it back as soon as possible and not leave it by the road, especially during winter, to try to treat them as if it was their own green cart, and to try to take care of them. It would help a lot. So it is mostly that. I don't know if the warden has anything to add. No, they spoke about other things also, but these are the major points that we discussed. Thank you. Any questions? If not, we will go on to 11.3, Southwestern Nova Biosphere Reserve Association. Councillor Cardevo, thank you. So on March the 10th, I attended a meeting for the Southwest Nova Biosphere Reserve Association. Again, a committee of the board meeting. We don't meet very often, but we started to talk. I don't know if you remember, the councillors and the public, a few years ago, maybe last year, we spoke about doing a documentary. It was a company from Ontario, PDO, TV Ontario, who would do a documentary on our biosphere reserve at this end. So that is completed. I've seen it. It was really good, but I was disappointed that there was nothing at all on St. Mary's Bay, on the area. They came to film during 2 weeks. They had interviews with a lot of people and different things, but there is nothing at all on the area. It is mostly Kejimkujik and South Shore a bit, but by saying that, it is still very good. It lasts 50 minutes, the video itself. For those who are interested to look at it, they can see that video on YouTube or by going to our website, the Biosphere Reserve website, and you will see it will have TVO.
And if you go to Striking Balance, you'll go down. That will bring you to the Southwest Nova Biosphere Reserve, and I thought it was really interesting. I just wish there was a little bit more on our region, but can't have everything, I guess. So anyways, that's finally complete, and it's really it was well done. We also spoke about Interactive Science Atlas that I think maybe 3 years that we're working on it. So it's an atlas that never ends. They will always change things in it, add things, remove things. So there's not really a date when it'll be complete. Still, if you go on the website, you can find that atlas. So Interactive Science Atlas. It's called on our website. It's full of information. And once again, it's on nature, mostly on nature, but it talks about the reserve. It's really interesting. We're very proud of that atlas. It's gonna serve in the schools, for the public. You can get an app on your phone. It's really good. So that's going on well. And just to remind the public that we are a UNESCO site. So for those that saw around Middleton, there's a big sign on the side of the road when that you're coming into a UNESCO site. It's impressive for tourists, especially that are coming in. They see that, and to know that they're coming into a UNESCO site, that's really rare. It's a really good thing. So just to remind the public that we are lucky to be a UNESCO site, and we must be proud of it. Thank you, Mr. Warren. Are there questions? Thank you, Councillor DeVoe. Next, we'll go to 12, new business. 12.1, motion to rescind a previous motion from December 18th, 2019, Clare Veterans Center. Mr. Sayed, yeah. Just to give a little bit of context and a reminder, at the Council and Commission meeting on March 3rd, our Director of Community Development, Pandusa, and Community Development, Ryan Flynn, updated a project that we're working on since we've been working on it for over a year now. It's a redevelopment project for the Clare Veterans Center in Sunnyvale. It had started with a project that was looking at renovating the building with a focus on modernizing the building and accessibility to make it more accessible for people of all ages, and also to make it more efficient, energy efficient, and to use more green technology. Then, following a discussion with federal government representatives, we were strongly encouraged to take that one step further and to really look at modernizing the appearance of the building, especially the exterior. still with a focus on modernization, accessibility, and the efficiency of the building. So that being said, we built a project, we consulted experts, and the project, in consultation with the council, we did some updates throughout, and last week we presented where we're at and the conclusion of the project and what we propose to go forward with permission of the council. And that was a project that was $1,990,000. So it's a big project for the Clare community. The impetus is well, there's certainly the Congrès Mondial that's coming up, and the Clare Veteran Center is an integral part of the submission to receive the Canadian Congress here. But I think that for me, what's even more important with that building and what the public maybe doesn't realize is that that building serves almost every day of the year. There are small groups, youth, elder, members of the private sector. The building is used over 250 times a year. I don't have the exact number, but it's a high number. So being able to offer programs and services to the community and to offer a place to meet up and have activities, whether it be shuffleboard, crib, dance, anything. It's a building that plays an important role in the community and the municipality in providing services. So that being said, there seem to be interests with the council to go forward with this project of 1.9 million. But to do it, we would need to confirm a contribution from council. But before that, to allow us to do it, we would need to rescind a motion that the council had carried on December 18th, that they would contribute $168,000 to the project. So the $163,000. So tonight we asked to rescind that motion. Someone want to rescind the motion? Councillor Camus? I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare rescind its motion from December 18th, 2029, approving a contribution of $163,098 for the Clare Veteran Center project. Seconded by Councillor DeVoe. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. So next, it's essentially a motion for the total of the new portion that we have to pay. We had the presentation at the last council meeting, and it's pretty impressive, I would say. If we can go ahead with it, it'll be a big change for the community. And I would certainly like to see, and I know council would certainly like to go to see it move forward. So I don't know if someone wants to make the motion. Councillor DeVoe? Thank you, Mr. Warden. I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare approve funding for the Clare Veteran Center project in the amount of $537,443 plus HST, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's capital reserve. Moved by Councillor Hill. Is there discussion on the motion? Ready for the question? All in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. Next, we'll go to 12.3, motion to set the 2021-2022 low-income property tax exemption. Do you want to talk about that? Every year, the municipality makes a motion to to set the amount for the exemption for low-income properties. For the last few years, the amount was set at $300 for households earning less than $18,000 per year. This year, following a revision of what's going on with the municipalities, neighboring municipalities in Southwest Nova Scotia especially, the recommendation to council has been made to change the amount. We would keep the exemption of $300, but it would be for households earning less than, instead of being for the households earning less than $18,000 per year, it would be for households earning $22,000, less than $22,000 per year. So the recommendation is that we set the low-income property tax exemption amount at $300.
I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare set the 2021-22 low-income property tax exemption amount at $300 for households earning less than $22,000 per annum.
Seconded by Councillor Doucette. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. 12.4, motion to name the Poitier Road. Councillor Poitier will excuse himself for a few minutes. I can go over this quickly. We were approached to name a road, the road Poitier Lane. There are 3 properties on that road, and the choice of the name was accepted unanimously by the proprietors, and we also looked at the choice of the names according to our policy on road names, and the proposed name respects the municipal policy on road names. It is not a road that is used elsewhere in the community, and it's a bilingual name that's translated. So the owners are in agreement. So the recommendation from the municipal staff is that we name the Ruelle Poitier or Poitier Lane for the road in question. Anybody wish to make the motion? Councillor DeVoe? Thank you, Mr. Warden. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare approve that the road shared by the PIDS, the numbers listed below, be named as follows. In French, Ruelle Poitier. In English, Poitier Lane. And I will give you the 3 numbers: 302-75119, 300-84180, and 300-84172. Anybody wish to second the motion? Are there any discussions? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. 12.5, motion to name a councillor, appoint a councillor on the Police Advisory Board. As we had the discussion, the committee itself had a discussion on naming a member from the public, but to have that, we need also in the name of a councillor, so we would need a motion to name a councillor. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare appoint Councillor Brian Comeau to the Police Advisory Board. Anybody second that? Councillor DeVoe? Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, no. Motion is carried. 12.6, a motion to sell a portion of a lot, PID 30070056. the municipality was approached by a resident, Hector Boudreau, who was interested in purchasing a portion of another land that we have besides the medical center. Mr. Boudreau wants to purchase 1.5 acres of the portion of the lot. The lot itself is 4.3 acres. As you know, the municipality has a practice or an informal policy to not sell land except in need. And in this case, where there is a strategic aspect for the municipality, so this is the case. Mr. Boudreau is proposing to purchase 1.5 acres off the lot, 30070056, for $10,000, and the cancellation of an easement, a grant of easement that exists presently on the land of the medical center. So the staff and the council is in agreement that it is in the best interest of the municipality to accept the offer from Mr. Boudreau for $10,000, and also to cancel the easement on the medical center land. Considering that the plans for Mr. Boudreau, I don't want to say it tonight, but they are in the best interest of the municipality also. So we need a motion. Councillor LeBlanc. I move that the council for the municipality of the district of Clare accept the offer put forward by Hector Boudreau to purchase a 1.5 acre portion of the 4.33 acre lot currently owned by the municipality, PID number 300700056, in exchange for $10,000 and the cancellation of an existing grant of easement. Any seconders? Seconded by Councillor Poche. Any discussion? Are you ready for the vote? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. We will go on to item 13. We have two items under closed session. 13.1, acquisition and sale of municipal property, and 13.2, personnel matters. So we need a motion to go in camera. Councillor Dousa moves, seconded by the Deputy Warden. All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Contrary, motion is carried. Good evening.